Hello, welcome to our inaugural Venus Fridays conversation. So Cayelin and I have been talking about meeting periodically to give you some Venus yumminess on Fridays because Fridays is Venus's day. So this is our first Venus Fridays, and we're super excited to be here with you and talk about some cool astrological stuff happening this week, as well as Venus is about to go through the Crown Chakra Gate in the morning star time. And so it's the start of the new Venus, Aries, Pisces, Venus cycle. And we're just really excited to have a little short conversation together about this.
Yes, I love it's Venus Fridays because of course Friday is named after Freya, the goddess, the Norse goddess, who was also named after Venus, or Venus was named after her. We don't, I mean, it's like Venus was what we tend to call her now, but every culture had a name for her. So yeah, Inanna, Ishtar, Aphrodite, different names for Venus. And I'm just so excited about how this cycle is revealing itself to us, like in ways that we'd never expected or have thought about before. And that she's about to go through her first gate. She just stationed direct. So she's still in that bit of a pause point. She's and starting to get her energy moving in the next direction as she gets ready to connect with the first Venus gate. And basically, this is when Venus and the moon come together after she's gone direct, and that represents the beginning of the descent into the underworld. And the first gate that she goes through, the first thing that happens when she goes through that gate in the story of Inanna or Ishtar is the crown that she's wearing is removed from her head so she can pass through that gate. So she has to give up something at each gate, which basically tells us she's giving up the distortions that are connected to that chakra because she has to give up her crown as she goes through the first gate. And then in this Aries Pisces, it's like, so also what is she giving up around um, her commitment to a cause of compassion and healing and universal love. And if we take Aries and Pisces and put it together, Aries is going to be very committed to that cause. and Pisces wants it to be about compassion and universal love and healing and all of those things. So it's super exciting. I have never seen anything like this in my 30 years of doing work with the Venus cycle.
It's so exciting. I love what you're saying too. It's like thinking about if we're removing our crowns, right? So on April 24th is when the waning crescent moon will meet with Venus in the morning sky. And that signifies our moving through this crown chakra gate, right? Where Inanna has her crown removed, and we get to focus on releasing the blockages to our own crown chakras, but in this Aries Pisces meta goddess way, right? So this conjunction's happening in Pisces. And so how do we release the places that block our standing in our own divine power, which is so a connection between Aries and Pisces, the divine, the universal coming in, embodying it into our own individual unique selves. It's just such an amazing opportunity, this Venus cycle of like, how does our own healing work really help and support the healing of the collective, the earth, the divine feminine, embodiment, all of it. I'm just so excited for this cycle as we're like in this stillness shifting in the Venus going direct in the very beginning of our descent.
Also, just another thing that occurs to me, I think it's on April 24th, but I'm not 100% sure if that's the exact date. But Chiron and Eris in Aries are coming together exact or fairly exact for the first time. And they're going to do that 3 times over the next year. And so Chiron being about healing the deepest wounds, healing our wounds so they become our medicine. And Eris is considered the goddess of chaos and discord. So what wounds are we healing around chaos and discord? And how are we inviting those parts to be present so that they can be healed instead of dismissing them, pushing them away, that sort of thing. And so there's this, so even though the Venus and the moon are meeting in Pisces, we have this other thing going on in Aries at the same time, just enhancing this whole concept of this Aries Pisces thing. And of course, then the gate that will follow in May will be in Aries. So, so these energies are so present for us in ways that I have never seen. And literally, Eris has a 500-year cycle, 550-year cycle, and or maybe 60-year. I don't know, somewhere around that. It's a long time. And it's in Aries for 120 years. Chiron's only in Aries for 7 years. So it actually has met Eris and Chiron back in 1971. And then back in the earlier days when like 50 years before that, in the 20s, 1920, just as it was going into Aries. Anyway, this is the last time they're going to meet in Aries while Eris is in Aries.
Oof.
Yeah. And it just so happens to be in this cycle that is featuring Aries and Pisces. So it's like another rare feature of what's going on right now. There's so many beyond this, but this is just feels like it's very aligned with this first gate. And I know that their exact conjunction is pretty close to this. It's either on this day or within a day or two of this day. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, one of the last things I'll just add in too is it's really interesting that this gate is happening once the sun is moved into Taurus, right? And we talk about the divine feminine is the place of like embodiment, and Taurus is so much about embodiment, and Taurus is so connected with Venus, right? The resonant energies. And so I just think like I love when there's a layering of the messages and the intention where it's like, okay, if you didn't get it here, like here's another sign of what's happening and the opportunity that's available to us with all of this energy. And I feel like this first gate, the crown chakra, of where we like embody the divine energy and clearing any kind of distortions we have to that, is while we're in the embodied season of the sun being in Taurus. So yeah, it's so cool. It's such a magical thing. I just love it. So is there
Yeah.
anything else that you want to add before
Well,
we?
just, I mean, Venus, high magic, Venus is all about high magic for sure. And if you want to join us and doing this as a ceremonial journey, it is a powerful, life-changing initiatory journey. It proved to be that way for me 30 years ago when I first worked with the Venus cycle in my age 40 Venus return. And every Venus return after that. And then, of course, now doing these Venus cycles, leading people through it as a ceremony for the last 11 years. So we'd love to have you join us in this time and coming together in community to really amp up the intention of this particular cycle and the possibilities that are available to us all when we're tuning in. And because, we're informing the mysteries as much as they're informing us, because we're in the embodiment of the mysteries. So if we're taking the time to be informed and then to do the informing as a collective, we can change the world.
Amen. I love that. Thank you. And so it is. And so our first class starts on Monday, and we would love to see you and have you join us. And we wish you Venus love and blessings for this start of the Venus cycle and her descent and moving through the crown chakra gate.
Aha, aho, aha, and aho. And the link will be in the show notes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.